Sharing actions and strategies for respectful and equitable healthcare for women with FGC. So this is our Canadian national collaboration across the country, where we have British Columbia, Manitoba, Ontario, Quebec, and Nova Scotia participating in this project. Right now it's midnight, a bit less now, 6 a.m. now by now, and still 3 a.m. in Vancouver. But they all are here and saying hello to you. As far as the international collaboration is concerned, we have Belgium, France, Spain, Sweden, and Switzerland who are participating with us in this project. In terms of challenges, it was, I guess, one of the positive aspects of presenting so late is that a lot of elements were already discussed, but I still would like to highlight the challenges when we talk about a very difficult topic, a very difficult condition in terms of an experience that was lived and relived and a continuous trauma for women and potentially for girls. Using the right term and where words matter is an important point. So I'll give the mic to my colleague Brian, and I would like to recognize in presence today Dr. Shamsa Leclerc, who is here from France, and also online we have Dr. Fatoumata Silla.
Thanks, Bilkis, for inviting me to join in on this conversation. So this harkens back to something that Bilkis actually raised as a question, which is who is labeling whom? What definition do they use, and then how is that definition actually employed? So anyone who knows this literature will know that in the opening paragraph, FGM is always defined in terms of the World Health Organization's definition. So I'm just going to lead you through some potential challenges with this definition. The first is that there's no mention of age or consent, and so any cutting, including of adult women, is considered to be mutilation if it's done for non-medical reasons, which is also not defined. So what counts as a sufficiently medical reason? What this leads to is a kind of inconsistency in how the definition is applied to different groups. So consider that between 2016 and 2019 in the United States, nearly 20% of labiaplasties were performed on girls under the age of 18. Now a labiaplasty, unless it's medically necessary, and what does that mean? Is consistent with the type 2A form of FGM. But of course this practice that is associated with Western culture is not in reality characterized as an instance of FGM, despite the fact that it's sometimes done to young adolescent girls with parental permission. Another issue is that, and I don't mean to be pedantic, but the term female genital organs is not defined. And this matters in the case of intersex and trans persons. So persons who are born with intersex traits that are characterized as female at birth, who have a clitoris, very often are operated on in Western societies with the idea to conform their bodies to stereotypes of feminine appearance. So this might be thought of as being done for cultural reasons rather than medical reasons, though again that distinction is messy. But again, the definition FGM is not typically applied to clitoral modifications of intersex females. And then take the case of trans persons, either trans women or trans men. If somebody's undergone a penile circumcision at birth and so lost healthy genital tissue without a medical indication and grows up to identify as a woman, does that woman have the entitlement to consider herself as having been mutilated? Similarly, trans men who may have undergone female genital cutting at birth, you start to see the importance of specifying which bodily tissues count as the ones that are even possibly susceptible to being mutilated. Finally, it's a sex-specific definition, and so only females, however that is defined, are considered liable to mutilation. And this pushes against the concern about gender as a system. Genital cutting of boys and girls are typically done together, and they both serve to uphold and reinforce gendered power systems in societies. So it's important to consider these things as part of a gendered system.
Thank you very much. We have 30 seconds left. So we talked about language. We talked about disproportionate focus on genitals. Another quick thing in 15 seconds and then another 15 seconds is that we do have a fantastic partner in Toronto with Gillian Einstein, looking at how we ascribe pain to people, machine sort of identify pain, and yet women who underwent FGM, FGC did not feel the pain as the machine was saying that you should have pain in the perineal area. So we need to be careful in understanding who is defining pain and who's experiencing pain. The one quick thing is that we have analyzed over 300 court cases in Canada with respect to asylum seekers, and there is no definition within the legal system in Canada to try and understand the definition of sex and gender. The 51 Refugee Convention does not include gender as an independent ground for well-founded persecution. So the guidelines do not define gender. There is no reference of sex. It's very difficult to understand how court cases were analyzed when women seek asylum to Canada. Voila. Thank you very much.